Hello and welcome to South Bay Sports Radio. Here's your host, Nick Ingram.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to South Bay Sports Radio. Today I'm joined by Drew Nash, South Torrance alumni, CIF champion, and former college quarterback at Western Colorado. We're going to talk recruiting, why he chose Western Colorado, what chasing the NFL dream looks like, behind the scenes, and life after football. But let's get into it. Drew, you recently visited Barber to You over in Torrance. What was your experience like at the barbershop?
Oh yeah, it was great. My brother knows Eli pretty well, and I kind of just needed a haircut back home, and I asked my brother, and he said he's Eli's new shop there, um, down in Torrance, and I went there, and it was a great experience. Everyone was very interactive with me and asking about my dreams and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty awesome. I love that place.
Beautiful. I love that. Eli's been in the South Bay since 1998. He's been cutting my hair since 2005. So that's definitely been something that when I hear somebody's been going to him, even a newbie, it's fun for me. So
Yeah.
very happy to hear it. All right, Drew, let's get into it. You grew up in the South Bay, went to South Torrance High, won a CIF title. What's a moment from that run that still hits you today?
Oh man. If I had to choose one, I would say it was probably that quarterfinal game versus Portola. When we were down, I think it was like, I want to say it was 13-3 at that point or something along those lines. And they were going to kick a field goal with like 7 minutes left to kind of put the game away, and they missed the field goal. And we went down and ended up ultimately winning that game. I think it was 14-13. I could be wrong, but maybe it was 17-16. That might have been the final score. 17-16, we scored with a pass to Cade Barger on like the 5-yard line. And yeah, it was just probably the greatest moment that I remember.
When you think back to high school Drew Nash against who you are now, what part of your game has matured the most and what part has stayed the same?
You know, in high school, I don't know if you remember, but I didn't run the ball very much. I was kind of timid and just never really ran the ball in high school. I think that kind of escalated from the time of the playoffs my senior year into pretty much in college. It went to Western and kind of just became this runner that I never knew that I could. So that's probably the part that's grown the most. Definitely my mind as well for the game. I think that's improved a lot from my coaches. Joe McClain as our quarterback coach there and offense coordinator. He's taught me a lot. But yeah, I mean, those are the two biggest things that really stick out to me that were not, I wouldn't say non-existent in high school, but they didn't do it as much, we'll say.
South doesn't get the spotlight in the South Bay, especially when it comes to football. But how much did that put a chip on your shoulder mentality, and how did that shape you as a quarterback?
Sure. I mean, I knew like going to South, it wasn't the biggest school and all that kind of stuff. And I'll just say from like my recruiting experience, it was hard to kind of get recruited. I went to junior college and went to Saddleback Junior College out of high school. And that first season in 2020, we didn't play. And then ended up being the starter in 21 when we got to play. And we had 10 quarterbacks in that room, actually. So it was a lot of competition going on for about a year. And some of those guys are great. And I feel like just kind of being that under recruited guy has put a chip on my shoulder, and I think it's motivated me a lot to be who I am today and try and be great and be the best player I can.
So let's go to that recruiting process. What schools were interested in you? Were there any interested in you coming out of high school, or was it coming out of Saddleback where you got the most interest?
Uh,
Correct.
yeah, so I mean, out of high school, I really didn't have anything. I think I had one offer to Ottawa University in Arizona to go there and play quarterback. It was an NAIA school. Other than that, it was really just Saddleback and a little bit of El Camino, but not very much. So we kinda had, like, one conversation with them. But, yeah, Saddleback was really the only thing I had coming out of high school, so I went there and trusted in the coach, Coach Mack, who was there at the time, who ended up actually retiring before the season I played, which was kind of a bummer, but, I got to play behind, Coach Crab, great coach, Coach Curtis was my quarterback coach there, and yeah, after that one season, I was trying to be a pretty much a spring transfer, and Coach Crab hooked me up with Coach Baines, with the head coach at Western Colorado, and they offered me literally it was like 2 days before the semester started, so I pretty much had to make a decision there pretty quick, and I ended up calling, like, the next day and saying that I was willing to come out there, not visiting, not anything, and I just rolled with it. I knew going in that they had 2 sixth-year quarterbacks that I would sit behind 1 year in redshirt and then hopefully get my chance to play, and yes, that's kinda how it went down.
So, walk me through the biggest reason that you chose Western Colorado aside from being able to play early, something that made it feel like home for you.
Man, um this is kinda crazy. I knew nothing about the school until they called me. I had never even heard of it. It's in Gunnison, Colorado. It's a very small town in Colorado, about 6,000 people total. Um, and I'll just tell you that my first when I got to Western Colorado, not visiting, not anything, and, my first day of class, I had to walk the class from the dorms and excuse me, where am I? Because like, this was something definitely just growing up in Southern California, it was crazy to me walking to school in -10 degrees. But as I was there for a while, I learned to build these bonds with my friends, these friends out here, and I just kinda learned to love it, love the small town vibe and how everyone kinda knows each other. You kinda see someone you know everywhere you go, and
Uh,
yeah,
how big of a culture shock was it for you going from Southern California to Western Colorado?
I mean, just I'm gonna talk about the elevation. So we're the highest collegiate stadium in the United States at 7723. Um, and I remember also, like, walking up to the stairs to get to my dorm that first time there, and I was out of breath. But you're pretty much in the mountains. It was crazy. I remember going to our winter conditioning session, and it was rough. It was a hard first session. We ran a lot, and I was out of breath for sure. Once you acclimate to it, I think it comes to your advantage, especially when you have teams come up to Gunnison who are from sea level area. That was kind of our advantage.
How different was the jump from playing at South High to going to Saddleback and then going to Western Colorado? Talk speed, pace, or even the mental side of the game.
Yeah, sure. It's definitely when I got to Saddleback, I was playing with a lot more guys and probably some faster guys, some bigger, some stronger guys. Definitely, I mean, in the trenches is a big difference. We had some big dudes. And then getting into Western Colorado, I mean, there's even some bigger dudes. I'd say one of the guys that I live with now, Ricky Freeman, he was also an All American at Western Colorado, and we're both training together. And I just remember these past 3 years going up against him every single day, it was miserable because he's a very good defensive end for us, and, um, I just we there was nothing like that really at South High that really stuck out, but once you get to that next level, there's different kinds of dudes everywhere.
There we go. I like that. That's good. All right. What's something about playing quarterback that fans don't see? The part of the game that's actually the hardest.
Yeah, I would say definitely, your film study is a big part of what I like to do. I'm in pretty much in the offices till 8 or 9 o'clock at night, Monday through Thursday, pretty much, and going through all that, studying the defense, studying every single coverage they do, tendencies on blitzes, fronts, everything. As a quarterback, you have to know everything that the defense is doing on pretty much on every play. Yeah, you have some simple reads on certain plays and all that, but once you get to that pass play where you have to read 2 high versus 1 high, you need to know what's expected of them. What do they do on third down? How often do they blitz? All that kind of stuff. So I think at the quarterback position, you knowing that is a big part of your success.
Is there a coach or a teammate that challenged you the most mentally? The one that forced you to grow even more than you were comfortable with at at that moment?
Yeah, I mean, we're known for our defense. They bring every blitz under the sun you could think of. I mean, they bring every type of blitz and they play every different coverage behind it. So I remember coming in like my first year at Western Colorado, and I'd never seen some of the defenses and the blitzes that they do. And I remember Coach McLean kind of talking me through it and some of that stuff. And it pretty much happened like throughout the year. I would listen to Connor Desch and Luke Nethercott, who were the two quarterbacks above me. I kind of would sit down with them and they would kind of help me see more structure of the defense and that kind of stuff, see where they think they're blitzing from and how wide linebackers get to give it away and all that kind of stuff. So definitely Coach McLean, Connor, and Luke were a big part of my success in learning that.
When things aren't going your way on the field, or you're stuck in three and outs, fumbles, interceptions, what's your reset button and how do you bring yourself back to know that it's a next play mentality?
Yeah, for sure. I think that is a very hard part at the quarterback position. You get a lot of praise for doing good, but you get a lot of hate for when you do something bad. For me, it's really just kind of getting on the tablets on the sideline and kind of seeing what happened. And then for me, it's all about, I mean, I just have to let it go in my mind and I try to take deep breaths on the sideline, just relax, talk it over with my teammates, that kind of stuff. But it's really just trying to relax and get it out of my head and doing these like breathing techniques that I have. So it's very hard to do.
I can only imagine. So you're currently training for the NFL draft in hopes of getting drafted. What does your preparation on a day-to-day basis look like?
Yeah. So I train at Landau Performance. It's right outside of Denver in Centennial, Colorado. So pretty much our week goes is it's Monday through Saturday. Monday we're focusing on like our acceleration and we have a lower body lift. Tuesdays we have um Tuesdays we have our change of direction. We focus on the 5-10-5. So we do the 5-10-5 drill, and then we have position work. So we have a quarterback coach that comes in. His name's Steve Fairchild. He's been awesome, by the way. He's teaching me a lot of stuff, and then after that, we have an upper body lift, trying to get the bench numbers up and that kind of stuff. Wednesday, we do a recovery lift in the mornings. We also have a mental health coach that teaches us some stuff to like kind of move on from the next play and that kind of stuff that we were talking about earlier. And then Thursday is top end speed with lower body lifts. Friday, we have the position coach come in again, and we focus on L drill and upper body. And Saturday is another recovery day. And then on top of that, I also go to Steve Fairchild, Coach Fairchild. I go to him 2 more times throughout the week to just kind of refine mechanics and that kind of stuff. So it's a full process. Sundays is our day off, but I'm loving it right now.
So have you been invited to the combine? What's that process like?
No, I haven't. We're pretty much going to my pro day. It's the week of March 9th through the 13th, and we have like an RMAC pro day that some scouts would come to and pretty much try and show out there. Me and my roommate Ricky are both going there, and think there's a good amount of people from our conference that are going, and hopefully there's a good turnout in scouts and that kind of stuff. There's also a lot of scouts that came to our practice this year and a couple games. Probably I would say between 15 to 18 scouts that came and saw me and him at practice and our team and our program and that kind of stuff. So that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, no, I'm not going to the combine or nothing, but was hoping to show out for the pro day and hopefully someone gives me a chance.
So what does that realistically look like for you? I know that these last couple years you've been all in on football. Of course, getting your education comes first, but how much are you willing to chase this dream of playing in the NFL?
Yeah. I mean, this is my one chance, and this is everything. I'm giving everything I got right now. I'm hoping for just a team to give me a shot to play at the next level, and hopefully, maybe even hopefully stay on a team and work my way up through that way. I also want to try and get into coaching at some point in my life. I think I'm pretty knowledgeable about the game and can help people through that way. So that's another plan of mine. But yeah, right now I'm just trying to focus on playing and hopefully try and make a team, whether that's NFL, CFL, XFL, whatever it may be. So we'll see how it goes.
There we go. I like that too. Who are some quarterbacks that you model your game after if there is somebody that plays like Drew Nash?
Yeah. I would say Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield are probably the two that I really like watching. And also, I mean, I can't forget about Matthew Stafford. He's been unreal this year. But Josh Allen, just with his strong arm and able to run the ball and kind of pretty much on third down. If he has to use his legs, he can and he will. He's not the very shifty guy. He's more of a downhill guy, similar to me. And also Baker Mayfield, I feel like just his competitiveness on the field. I'm very competitive and I want to win everything and win every game, every play, all that kind of stuff. So I think with his competitive edge and energy combined with Josh Allen's just arm and his legs ability is probably the two people that I model my game after.
What's something the game of football has taught you that you feel will help you once you're ready to hang up your cleats?
I think I just think the aspect of teamwork and working together with a group of guys, I think is a big thing that goes it's kind of underlooked. I mean, you're all working towards the same goal and you have to help each other and they'll help you. And I think that goes a lot, like even just in the job industry, you're going to work with people the rest of your life and you have to be able to be cooperative with each other and that kind of stuff to achieve whatever goal that you are working towards.
You're a product of the South Bay and you know how much this area gets overlooked, but for a quarterback that's chasing the same path as you, what's one piece of advice you'd give them that you wish you knew earlier in the game?
I think the mental side of the game is a lot bigger than people think, and there's a lot that goes into it. So, kind of knowing that mental side of it and also just trying not to like when we're in the weight room, it's not all about just how much weight you can move. It's all about your rotation mechanics and how fast you can rotate and that kind of stuff at the quarterback position. And it's not all about your arm. I think a lot at the position of quarterback, you have to use your feet. And your footwork is very important. Getting aligned to throws, all that kind of stuff, and being quick in the pocket. I think all those things are um, have helped me a lot through this process.
You also played baseball in high school your senior year, right?
Yes, I did.
How important
I
was
did.
that to you to not only focus on football, but also, not only play another sport, but get outside your comfort zone and kind of see what else was out there?
Yeah, so it's kinda crazy. I played baseball pretty much since I was 4 years old. I played all the way through to my freshman and sophomore year. I didn't start playing football until actually the 8th grade, so that football was kinda new to me then. And then after my sophomore year of baseball and after the junior year season of football, I decided to not play my junior year of baseball. I wanted to just focus on football and get into the 7-on-7 stuff and try and get better at football because that's what I started to fall in love with. I think it was just because it was kinda new to me and that kinda stuff. Um, and then pretty much going into senior year, um, I was talking to Cade Barger, like I mentioned earlier, and he had played football his freshman year, was a varsity starter and all that kind of stuff, and he ended up quitting. And I wanted him to come back for his senior year, and we kind of made this deal that he would, if he came back, that I would go back to baseball my senior year, and um, I ended up going back. Unfortunately, COVID ended our season and whatnot. I was having a blast out there with the guys, and I'll say to this day, I do miss baseball. Baseball was a big part of my life, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, that's going to wrap the serious part of the interview. Drew, we're going to transfer into rapid fire. You take as much time with these as you want, but
Okay.
your all time top three football players.
Ooh, top 3, huh? I mean, it's hard to go against Tom Brady, who's the greatest quarterback ever. And then I was a big Brett Favre fan when I was younger. I was a Jets fan for a while there. And then the third one probably would be man. Let's go with Patrick Mahomes. I'm a huge fan of his as well.
Deal. Did you know that Favre was drafted by the Falcons?
I did know that.
There we go.
I did know that.
You get to play with one player from any era, even your high school or college days. Who would it be and why?
Oh man, I'd probably go with Caden Meisner. He is a receiver at Western Colorado. He's got one more year, but I just feel like me and him had this connection on the field. I knew where he was going to be at every point, timing wise, coverage based, all that kind of stuff. I think we had a great connection and would love to hopefully play with him again one day.
Let's go. Favorite football movie, favorite baseball movie.
Ooh, favorite baseball movie, I feel like it's The Sandlot. I feel like that's the best one out there for sure. Um, and then favorite football movie, that's a tough one too. I'd have to go with either Remember the Titans or The Blind Side.
There we go.
Probably the
Both
2 favorites.
both good ones. A
Yeah.
biopic is being made about Drew Nash's life. Who plays you?
Oof. I'm not very good with actors' names, so let me think here for a second. Um,
Cue the
oh
Jeopardy
man.
music.
Yeah, right. Oof, I have no idea. That is a tough one. Uh, man. Just because I like this guy, let's go with Mark Wahlberg.
There we go. Marky Mark. All right, Drew, you come home. You've got 4 hours to kill. What's your go to South Bay eatery and your favorite dish there?
Man, every time I come home, it's, In and Out. In and Out is the my go-to 'cause I don't get it very often out here, so, In and Out, number 1, animal style, some with chopped chilies, with also animal style fries, and add chopped chilies on there, so it's probably the best thing.
There we go. Drew Nash, thank you very much. Before we get out of here, be sure to hit up Barber to You. Eli Lopez does a fantastic job. Fades, skin fades, tapers, beard trims, the whole nine. Be sure to check it out. Drew, thank you for your time very much and good luck to you in the future.
I appreciate that, thanks for having me.